Today we're gonna make Katharine Hepburn's famous brownies. Totally easy. I've got a stick of butter and a half cup of cocoa melting together, and they are almost melted, so I'm gonna take them off the heat because I'm gonna add eggs and some other stuff to that. So I'm gonna set that off to the side on the pumpkin. Ta-da! I've got a pan greased, ready to go in the oven. But I'm gonna mix together while the chocolate is cooling. I'm gonna mix together a fourth of a cup of flour and a cup of sugar. And I'm using coconut. And actually that's gonna finish my bag, so that's okay. So that's good. What else do we have? Let's see. Flour, nuts, and salt. Now you can use whatever kind of nuts you want. I'm gonna actually use almonds today. And I'll put the recipe in underneath. But I've got some slivered almonds, and I'm gonna do 2 handfuls, big hand, 2.5 handfuls, because I want it to be really nutty. How do you feel about nuts in your baking? I go back and forth. Some things I like nuts in, some things I don't. Brownies, especially this kind of slivery almond, I like a little crunch. So that's good. Okay, so we've got all that. We've got the sugar, we've got the flour, we've got the nuts. That's what it looks like. And a little salt. That we're gonna set off to the side. And then we've got the oven preheating to 325. Got the chocolate really, really gooey and yummy. And I'm doing 2 eggs. 1 at a time going in. And because I've let the chocolate and the butter cool a little bit, it's not gonna, and I'm doing the eggs 1 at a time, it's not going to cook the egg, it's gonna take the egg on. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna add the vanilla, and I'm gonna mix it all together. Okay, so now I'm gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm using Haitian vanilla, which is my favorite. You see that it leaked all over it, but that's okay. I've moved the egg. I moved the egg and sugar, or egg and flour mix, egg, chocolate and butter, vanilla mix to the mixing pan. And now I'm adding in the flour, the sugar, and the nuts. And I'm gonna do half of that. Give that a good mix. I wonder if you have a favorite brownie recipe. I wonder if you have either a particular box brand you like, or if you have a brownie mix that you really love recipe kind of. So that's looking really good. Let's get the other half in there. It is really rainy today in New Jersey. The temperature is beginning to move down, and it is full-blown autumn. The trees are glorious. All the color is really going on, and I'm on vacation. So I'm gonna make some brownies and bake them. Have a nice decaf cup of coffee this afternoon, and I have a brand new cookbook that Peyton bought me, and I have some magazines, and I have a new Bible with the commentary and Bible study pieces from President Jimmy Carter, and I'm excited about reading that with his Bible study notes in it. And I have a new Barbara Taylor Brown book. So I have some reading to do, and if it's going to rain all week, I'm just going to have a little sliver of brownie and a coffee in the afternoon, and I'm not going to be sad about that. I'm looking forward to some resting time and just being kind of quiet and chill before we get to the holidays. But for this week, we're just gonna have a quiet kind of, or I'm gonna have a quiet, Peyton's got some editing to do, but little almond brownies, just put them out in the pan. There's a half a stick of butter in here, so it's really glossy. We're walking every morning, and so our metabolism will already be going, but we're not gonna have big brownies. We're making just a little brownie pan, and this will last us at least a week, so that's good. But I'm telling you, Katharine Hepburn knew how to make brownies. They are so, so good. If you wanted, I didn't have any already made, but if I had a cup of coffee and it was almost done and it didn't have any milk and I was just drinking it black, I would add a couple of tablespoons of coffee just because it makes the chocolate like pop, pop, pop. But this is Costa Rican cocoa, coca, and so it's really, really rich. So I'm gonna be just fine. Okay, friends, I'll let you see what it looks like. Are you ready? Let's put it in the oven. Here we go. In the oven. It's gonna bake for 40 minutes. That feels like a long time, but it's worth it. Let's take them out. They look a little dark, but they look good. I'm gonna let them cool, and then I'm gonna cut them up. Oh, friends, make these. I wanna make sure that you know that I used almond flour because we like to be as gluten-free as possible. And that's part of the reason why I picked almonds as the complementary nut. The other thing is, how do you feel about, oh look at that, it's just gonna come right out of the pan. How do you feel about the outside? Do you like the crust? Or would you like the middle piece? It's a debate, isn't it? Let's test it with my fondue fork, going in, coming out clean. Katharine Hepburn's brownies. Oh, friends, we could have it with coffee. We could have it with a really cold glass of milk. We could have it with whipped cream. We could have it with a cuppa in the afternoon. What's it gonna be?